Thank you so much to Pique Live for sponsoring today's video. Listen, you guys, as somebody who's got super dry and dull looking skin, I am always in the search of products that'll make my skin look super radiant, super plump, and that will restore the skin's moisture and give me a very hydrated feel to it all. And that's exactly why the Radiant Skin Duo is quickly becoming a daily part of my routine. The Radiant Skin Duo is specifically made to restore the skin's moisture and elasticity for radiant skin from the inside out. So for the Sun Goddess Matcha, because it has chlorophyll, it supports skin clarity, it's high in antioxidants, and that all helps for brighter skin. Their Sun Goddess Matcha is literally quadruple toxin screened, and on top of that, it contains 35% more L-theanine than other matchas, which is amazing because it'll really help you with relaxation and better sleep, and it'll massively help you out with calm energy without those caffeine crashes. And then for the BT Fountain, which is my favorite because first of all, I love berry flavored anything, and second of all, I'm a hydration girly through and through, so mixing this with my water and drinking this even at meal times, because of the electrolytes and minerals it has, is everything to me. Not only does it have the electrolytes and minerals that help improve hydration, then it also has scientifically proven ceramides that help improve the skin's elasticity. It really is an unbeatable duo. So if you're interested in trying these out for a limited time, you can get 15% off plus free shipping for life on Pique's Radiant Skin Duo, which includes a beaker and a frother when you start your new ritual. You know, I think I just found one of my new favorite quotes in Every Heart a Doorway. It is in chapter 4, and Sumi, who is a part of the main cast of characters, one of the kids who are not all necessarily kids that have been found, and her saying that she is old enough to know what she is losing in the process of being found. Listening to the audiobook and hearing that, and also just saying that out loud, makes me want to cry for some reason. All that to say, good morning, friends. Today is Saturday, and I am starting a new vlog. We are also technically in the midst of a Patreon readathon for the Le Fantasma book club, which is the book club I host with Liv, and we are doing not a full 48 hours, but we are instead doing a 32-hour readathon. Today is the second day, and we do have sprints later today. Thought I'd take my morning slow. I've been tidying up, cleaning up, doing the dishes, just regular housekeeping stuff. And I have been listening to my audiobook. I am listening to Every Heart a Doorway, which I started in the previous vlog, and I currently have, if Scribd wants to load, there we go, I've got exactly an hour and a half left of the audiobook, and I still have the exact same sentiment that I had in the previous vlog, where I just really admire and love, you can hear the cats in the litter box, but I really love and admire how much Seanan McGuire is able to depict human emotion in the most sort of like outrageous and fantastical of scenarios. There is nothing really realistic about what these people are going through on a world building level, but I think because the human emotion is so real, it just grounds it in reality, even though we're talking about kids who are quite literally going through portals through other realms that are rooted in other things. High logic and nonsense, and then virtue and logicness. It is truly a multiverse at its finest, but because it's so cozy fantasy and the stakes kind of swing back and forth between feeling high and then feeling low. It is just so good, and through the audio it just makes the experience so much better. So I am having such a blast with Nancy and this cast of characters, and just how much depth there is to every character. Even though it is Nancy's story, we do hear about these other characters and where they come from and their backgrounds, and I think the way that Shannon Maguire is able to build on that while still getting us to a point where we deeply understand Nancy and her fears and her desires in such a short book, I think is phenomenal. So I am really having a great time with it, and that's what I'm listening to at the moment, and I do want to finish it today. But I have also started Chain of Thorns. I started Chain of Thorns a few days ago. I read a little bit more yesterday. I am currently on page 50. I'm a little bit torn right now because I don't know if so far it's the most interesting story. I think it had such an explosive ending in the previous installment, which is Chain of Iron, and it had such a great ending, such a great development of events. And out of Chain of Iron and Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron is my favorite. And so this, I think, had like such high hopes to live up to. Granted, I am only 50 pages in, so there's really not much to say on that end, but I think as the last installment in a trilogy, I would expect it to start as explosive as the last installment ended. So we're going to see how this goes on along, because I have no idea what this book is going to do or how it's going to end up. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated and we'll see where it goes. You can probably hear the AC in the background, but I'm coming in with the last update of the day as a very anxious and terrified person. I will update you properly tomorrow on my progress with books. However, today had to rush Vin to the vet. She threw up twice today. Took her to the vet. Everything came up okay. She got some meds. But it's so terrifying as a cat who's like not vocal at all. Like Vin is rarely vocal. Only when she wants ice or like only when she's excited about her food. The fact that I can like see her lethargic and I can see her be like in slight pain and I'm hearing her be vocal about that is just like probably one of the most terrifying things ever. So it's midnight. I'm on cat watch for most of the night for as long as I can stay awake. I don't think it'll ever not be scary whenever I take these cats to the vet. Buenas.
Digo buenas.
Buenas.
Hola, buenas. Estamos en el supermarket comprando unas cosas para aquí, para Melanie.
We're grocery shopping. Hello. So, I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I also have this fucking crater on my face. However, haven't talked to you guys in a while because this weekend was stressful as hell. I'll tell you more when I get home. But now it's grocery time. Currently sprinting with my patrons, hello. And this past weekend was a lot. So I started the vlog on Saturday, and then on Saturday afternoon, I had to take Vin to the vet, had to rush her because she threw up twice, which is very much not usual or not the norm for her. They told me she was constipated, she had to take some laxatives, just girly things. And then she got worse after I gave her the laxative. She continued to throw up. She was not going to her litter box. She was not eating. She was not drinking water. She started getting very, very lethargic. And then I had to rush her to the vet yet again on Sunday morning, so yesterday, and it turns out it was misdiagnosed. She did not need laxatives. She was not constipated, and we had to stay at the vet for 2 hours. Turns out she was just dehydrated, and I say just because out of everything that could have happened, I feel like it's definitely the least of the things that could have been, and I'm super thankful for that. But I had to rush her. We stayed there for 2 hours. They gave her an IV drip, and it was just a time. I was immensely stressed. It was just very, very anxiety inducing, and so I was in a level of high stress, high anxiety yesterday, just watching her all day basically, because I needed to make sure that she was going to the litter box and just doing all the things. And then today she's feeling a lot better, eating, drinking water, going to the litter box, playing, very energetic. There's that. Those have been my last 2 days. However, I have been reading in the midst of all of it, and I have to update you. I did finish Every Heart a Doorway, and I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I just really fell in love with it and the characters. I think even as far as the world building goes, it's something that I don't necessarily fully understand quite yet, but the way that all of these universes are kind of like parallel to each other and all functioning at the same time is so very cool. I also love how Shannon Maguire kind of brings references to other books in the series, or at least in Every Heart a Doorway, to sort of explain exactly why something is logic, high logic, or wicked, or whatever it is. And so I very much enjoyed that, because it almost, I think, gives you a sense of comfort in the overall unknown of the series to sort of be grounded in something that you potentially already know. So I really, really liked that. And the sense of found family in it was just absolutely beautiful too. The lesson that the character learned towards the end of the book as well was just absolutely gorgeous. And I think it ultimately is really just a testament to sometimes what you want is not necessarily what you need, and how sometimes in the process of trying to find what you want, you find what you need, and you find something even better than what you thought, again, at the time that you wanted. 10 out of 10 good service to Every Heart a Doorway. I will most likely definitely listen to all of the books on audio, also just because Scribd has all of them. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. First of all, let's ignore the pimple patch. I very clearly have to remove it because it's disgusting. I also have to make my bed. So I had to wash the sheets because cat accidents. I started Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and I am 120 pages into this. Indeed, very unfairly cute, and it's getting better and better as I continue to read. At first, it kind of felt like a Netflix teen movie, not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes it does break the fourth wall with the reader, where it's like, oh, by the way, interesting information I've got for you. Not necessarily in a way that's like too in your face, but enough where I go, oh yeah, these dynamics are definitely things I've observed in teen movies in recent years. So while I don't consider it to be like a bad thing, it's just like something, you know, that I found very interesting. I do like the dynamics of it though, because I do think it gives a lot more dynamics, I guess is the one word that's coming to mind, to the book, which I definitely appreciate. But we essentially follow 2 high school students. Totally hit my face with the book just now. We follow 2 high school students, Celine and Bradley, who used to be friends, but they had a fallout in recent years, and now they are sort of rivals. Both of them want to study law. The only difference is that Celine actually wants to study that, and then Bradley is only wanting to comply with the expectations that his family has of him, particularly his dad. They are kind of figuring out the college situation and figuring out what to do. They both enroll in a program that'll potentially, if they win, give them a full ride scholarship to the college of their choice, and that'll basically make them confront exactly why they don't talk anymore and what they plan to do moving forward, and if they want to rekindle that friendship. And again, very cute, very bantery, very much enjoying the banter in this one. I think it is 10 out of 10, and I think that's something that Talia Hibbert knows how to do very well. It's just like that good banter. So I'll definitely read some more, hopefully tomorrow. And yeah, good night. consistently horrified and consistently intrigued at the perfect match is the current mood. We're watching Perfect Match. Shouldn't like this half as much as I do.
No, enjoy it.
It's bad. I love it so much. Ay no, Jesucristo, ayúdalos. Thank you, dog! Thank you! She was so mad and now she's suddenly okay with it. I am officially caught up with work. It was actually quite nice to take these few days to catch up with the comment section, with Patreon posts, Patreon comments, and interact with people on Discord. I had not realized just how many comments I had not replied to. And it felt really, really nice to be able to read all of you guys' comments. This is just something I've noticed, something that's like very personal for me, where whenever I am overwhelmed with personal stuff or whenever my mental health is not doing that good, the comment section is typically something that suffers in terms of I don't see it. So that definitely played into this time around, but I have looked at everything and always love talking to you guys in the comment section. Today was podcast posting day. I filmed it 2 days ago and I completely forgot to vlog that, but recorded the podcast, put it up, and it is always a terrifying thing. This time around it was less scary when I posted my first episode, but posting the second episode still felt very anxiety ridden. Anyways, there's that. I think those were like all of my updates. I currently am doing a little readathon on Patreon. Today is also the last day I'm vlogging because this vlog is going up in 2 days. So thought I'd update you with how I'm doing reading wise as well. Oh, I just had a tripod fall. I am definitely going to finish this tonight. I have like 80 pages left of this, and Talia Hibbert truly nailed the teenage voice. I think that something I see quite often in YA books, regardless of what genre we're talking about, I tend to see so many YAs that the characters sound very adult. And nowadays, I think it's very hard to tell versus 10 years ago in YA. I think it's very hard to tell what you're going to get when you're picking up something within that age group. Some things could skew very young and some things can skew on the older end of things where they have no semblance of a teenage mindset, brain, attitude. And so very rarely do I come across YA books that actually sound like a YA. This book is most certainly a young adult contemporary romance, and I am loving that. I love that the characters are going through their individual struggles and we really see them trying to figure out the whole college situation. They have a lot of expectations from their parents, a lot of expectations that they've put on themselves as well, and a lot of blockages that prevent them from really pursuing what they want. There's a lot of trauma playing into this as well, and so I am quite enjoying seeing these characters' backstories, their current stories, and just seeing how all of that ultimately like explains the way that they act and who they are as people. But also when they're bantering or they're giving each other advice, I like the fact that it's not immensely deep, immensely existential, or even too wise to the point where it transcends the voice of a teenager. And so I am really, really liking so far and almost towards the end of the book, basically everything that Talia Hibbert has done with this. I would say the only thing that is working against this book, at least in my eyes, is the fact that the characters obviously admit to themselves that they are in love with each other rather quickly. And I mean, it happens towards the end of the book, but I think just based on how much time they spend together or not, and how the story progresses as far as their friendship and them being together or not being together and kind of swinging back and forth with the idea of it, it almost doesn't feel like nearly enough to justify the feeling of love. But also these two have been friends for a really long time, and so it also feels justified in a way in that regard because they know each other a lot better than other people do. I wish I would be seeing a little bit more of that on page, but other than that, I am really enjoying everything about this book. Also forgot to update you on this, but I did start Finding Me by Viola Davis, and all I can think of now that I am reading this book is Angela Bassett did the thing, Viola Davis, my woman king. However, I did start her memoir and obviously been listening to the audiobook because she's the one narrating it, and I have already cried, laughed, gasped, teared up, just all of the emotions you could possibly go through I have gone through. The pockets of wisdom within the story, whether it's acquired by her that she has personally discovered or provided by the people in her life, are so valuable. I will never forget that one passage where she was talking about a session with her therapist and how she had said that she wanted to give young Viola a hug and really comfort her just because of everything she was going through when she was younger. And her therapist basically replying and asking her who needed the hug more, if old Viola, as in child Viola, needed that hug, or current Viola needed that hug. Because at the end of the day, even if young her went through all of these different struggles and they were immensely hard and very traumatic at times, it was that person with that resilience and with that endurance and with that love for life and herself and the people surrounding her that got her to the spot where she is currently at. And it would be a disservice to young her to say that she wanted to comfort her and like hug her. And I literally started sobbing my eyes out as I was tidying up the living room as I was listening to that, because I was not expecting anything like that. But I think with the title of the book and it being like such an explorative thing to navigate and analyze her childhood all the way to, I am guessing, older years, how that has made her who she is and how she has continuously figured out what she stands for and what she wants to fight for, who she wants to be in the long run as a professional, as a person. I think I should have expected passages that hit that hard. I've listened to 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it's been a really good ride so far, and I can't wait to see where it keeps going. So I've been listening to that every morning as I cook my breakfast and get the daily chores done. Good morning, friends. Hi. So I just got ready, and it is time for us to close out this vlog and start a new one, which is exciting. However, last night I did finish Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and I am giving this a 4-star. I had a really great time with this one. Again, the teenage voice was just like nailed to a T. The banter between the characters was really nice. And although perhaps things didn't wrap up in a way that I would have wanted, I think that within the amount of pages that this book has, there was only so much that Talia Hibbert was able to do. And so I really enjoyed this. I think it was a really fun time, and the writing is super accessible and it's easy to read, so very much appreciated this one. So yes, I still have basically a day and a half left of the readathon with my patrons, so we are going to carry on readathoning today and tomorrow, and I'm just going to start another vlog and capture that alongside several things at the beginning of the week so that I can share all of those with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Love you all so much. Don't forget to comment down below what you're currently reading, maybe the most recent book you finished, how you're doing, just all the things. Let's chat down in the comments. Don't forget to follow the Talk and Talk podcast, which is out now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That will always be linked down below as well from now on. And if you want to support the channel further, I do have a Patreon. It is also linked down below. I love you all so much. I hope you're having a lovely start of week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!